All right, I believe we are live on YouTube. So let me go ahead and get started by welcoming you to the Lead Magnet Funnel Bootcamp. This is where we're going to be learning how to build our email list using a lead magnet, and we'll go all the way through not only getting a lead magnet, but putting it into a website, setting up our email system, and then actually getting some basic traffic as well. So we have a lot to cover. There's a lot of stuff we're going to do today. So one of the things that I just want to do some housekeeping, because this is the first day, and some of you guys are jumping in and coming in live, which is fabulous. I love that. But make sure when you're in that you've got your microphone off. There's been some times that somebody didn't realize their microphone was on, and man, you can tell some stories about what we heard. So make sure your microphone is off so we don't hear all the bad stuff about you and your family and your brother and sister and your mom and them and what they did at Christmas time. And can you believe she wore that dress? And oh my gosh, didn't you hate those shoes? We don't need to know all that. So just keep your microphone muted unless you have a question, and then you can actually jump in and ask a question. I love questions. I am compelled to answer questions. So if you have a question, jump in and ask. If it's not directly related to what we're covering, then I'll do my best to kind of push it over to the side and we can try to answer it at the very end. I'm going to try to keep it to an hour, but those of you that know me know that that's impossible for me to do. We've got so much to do that I don't think I'll keep it to an hour, but I'm going to really, really try. I have to keep it to less than 2 hours because I have another training I have to do in 2 hours. So we know we'll keep it at least less than 2 hours. But let me get started by telling you guys that I'm super excited that you're here, and hopefully some of you guys got the opportunity to go to the first boot camp that I did, which talked about how to build an anchor page and get set up with MailingBoss and then get some basic traffic. So I've got a couple of you guys with your cameras on. Were you able to attend that first one? Yes? No? Maybe? I got a couple. Yay! That's fabulous. So if you have not attended the first one, you can find it easily by just going to Builderall 7-Day Boot Camp. Just do a search for that on Facebook. It'll find it. It's the only one up there. And go ahead and join that, and you can learn how to do a basic anchor page. Now, the structure of this one is going to be a little bit different. Instead of doing a Facebook group, we're actually talking about putting these in the dashboard of Builderall. So instead of having to go to a separate place, a Facebook group, to be able to get access to the boot camps, you'll be able to get access to them right away inside of the back office. So hopefully that will be easier for you guys to get to, and maybe even quicker to get to, because you can get in there quick, get to your boot camp, and get started. So that's a goal, is to get all this in the back dashboard for you so that you can access it whenever you want to. We do have a new dashboard coming, so just be ready, because it's going to look a lot different, and it'll be heavy on training. So there's going to be a lot of training coming. I know I'm swamped up to here with training and videos and live training and all that good stuff, but hopefully what it'll do is it'll help you learn how to use the Builderall tools a lot better, so that you'll be so excited about the different things that are in Builderall. It's funny, because in that first boot camp, I kept telling people that you're learning the shavings of the tip of the iceberg. And it's the same thing with this boot camp. It's the shavings of the tip of the iceberg. It's not even a little bit of what Builderall can do. So we'll do 7 days to learn how to do lead magnets and how to set up a website. But there's 21 or 22 other boot camps coming throughout the entire year. So we have a lot to learn. We'll do it in 7-day bursts, and it should be a lot of fun. So do you guys have any questions before we start? No? Y'all are a quiet bunch.
I just wanted to say hello. Good evening from Germany.
It's so good to see you, Martina. I'm glad that you're here. And I'm super excited that you're here, because what I want to share with you over these next 7 days, I think is going to be amazing. You'll learn some really neat stuff. So I am super
When I
excited.
can get you with the stuff of learning. I am the last 2 weeks I'm in the support training, and now today or tomorrow we start doing our first live chats, and I don't know how to do it, but I will try.
Oh, you're gonna do great. You're gonna do great. I'm so excited for you, and that's such a huge part of what Builderall is doing to help the end user is to get that extra support. So Martina, people like you and so many others that are super users of Builderall, having them as the support team is going to be a huge benefit to the end user. So I'm super excited about it. I can't wait to see you in support, Martina. And we've got so many more that are actually doing the same thing. So I think it's going to be nothing but good stuff. And I know that I'm already seeing a difference inside the Facebook groups. When people have an issue and they post up, it's like immediately 2 or 3 people jump in and give really good answers. So that part to me is really exciting, because there was a time when somebody would post a question and people really didn't know for sure what the answer really was, or were they given the right answer, were they given the right directions. So you guys are coming in already with a high level of confidence, a high level of ability, and to me that means that people are going to get their questions answered. So that's fabulous. So yay you. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about what we're going to cover today. So we're going to talk about the history of Builderall. That's the first thing we're going to do. It'll probably take just a few minutes, but I want you to know the story about Builderall and how it got started. Then we're going to go through a really quick run through of the Builderall Pixel Perfect Builder, because that's what we're going to be working in. Then we're going to do a really fast run through of Mailing Boss. That's the email autoresponder that we're going to use. And then we're going to talk about traffic and basic ideas about traffic and how to get it to your website. Then we're going to talk about how you can find lead magnets. What are lead magnets and how can you find them? And then we're going to talk about what template we're going to use to be able to build our lead magnet funnel that we're going to do over the next 7 days. So we've got a lot to jump into. So the first is I'm going to actually talk about the history of Builderall. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And here we are, right here in the history of Builderall. Let me kind of make this larger so you guys can see it really well. And hopefully you can see everything okay. So this is the history of how Builderall got started. In about 2007, Eric Salgado, who's the CEO of Builderall, had an idea. Now, those of you that know Eric, you know that he has ideas all the time, which is great for us because he comes up with some fabulous ideas. It's amazing what goes through his entrepreneurial head. So he was trying to figure out how to create a company that anyone could join this company for minimal amount of money and start to make money right away. And not only that, but he could have a company where he was generating an income for himself. So he started to get some ideas and wanted to make sure that there was digital inclusions and entrepreneurs were a part of what he was doing. These people that have that entrepreneurial spirit. So then in 2008, he came up with the idea of the Best of My Neighborhood. And the letters, I don't know how to say it in Portuguese, but the beginning of each of the words in Portuguese are OMB. OMB. So you might see in some of the older advertising and stuff like that, you might see OMB or OMB 100. That's because in Portuguese, those letters are the beginning of the words that stand for the best of my neighborhood. So he started off with that idea and put it into place, and it actually grew quickly in Brazil. That's where he's from. And he built this Best of My Neighborhood, and then in 2009, he created a digital franchise of the Best of My Neighborhood. And it actually went really, really well. He was doing really well for himself, and the entrepreneurs were doing really well as well. Then in 2009, he expanded on that idea and built a website builder. And he was really looking for something that was easy to use. When you put a picture on there, it was on there. You didn't have to put it in a box, and the box didn't have to juggle depending on what screen you were looking at, all that good stuff. You just wanted a drag and drop, pixel perfect website builder. So 2011 was the start of that idea. Was it perfect? No, but he started the idea. Then he worked on a microblog in 2012, worked a lot with Google AdSense, did really well with them, became one of the best in the world with Google AdSense. Then in 2015, he created the OMB 100 platform, which included the website builder. And this was the first of the idea of creating this platform to enable people to build their own websites, host it on Builderall so they don't have to pay separate hosting fees, and all for one really low flat fee. And not only that, but we've got a website builder. Why not throw in some other things that entrepreneurs need as tools as well? So then in 2016, he developed the Builderall platform. So he migrated from it being OMB 100 to Builderall. And this is where he started to go international with it. So he came into the US. He actually was living in the US by then, and he was working on becoming a citizen of the United States. And the Builderall platform as a whole became global. So it was in Brazil, it was in the US, and we started to branch out into other countries as well. Then in 2017, using the Builderall platform and offering affiliate positions, Builderall became a top seller on JVZoo. And that's not an easy thing to do. And they became a top seller really, really quickly. So just imagine 2016 is when the Builderall platform first came out. 2017 is when they became a top seller on JVZoo. So that's absolutely huge. Then 2017 also saw the two-tier system for affiliates, meaning that instead of becoming an affiliate and getting a recurring income on one tier, you can get a recurring income on two tiers. Your tier one, which are the people that are signed up under you, and then your tier two, which are the people that are signed up under your people. So the two-tier system was developed, and our company started to explode. And by explode, I mean logarithmically, not like just doubling, tripling, quadrupling, but I mean just absolutely exploding in growth, like snowballing. So then in 2017, that same year, remember the two-tier system came out early in the year. Later in the year, we actually paid out $1 million in commissions based on this new two-tier system. So obviously it was really successful. Then we went through a new launch in 2018. And with that new launch, we had a lot more products that came through. So instead of just having a website builder and a autoresponder, we added a chat bot, we added e-commerce, we added a automatic post system for Facebook and Instagram. We added so many more features. We've got a webinar platform. There's so much more that you get inside of Builderall that now it's huge. And in 2019, we're looking to add even more. So coming soon, we've got a CRM platform, which is going to be added into MailingBoss. We're going to have a Canvas system where it's like a drag and drop website builder, which is going to be phenomenal. We're getting a new dashboard inside the back office, and that new dashboard is going to be really focusing heavy on training. So there's a whole heck of a lot coming. And I'm excited because we just got news today on the weekly webinar that the magazine feature is coming out, where you can add a magazine to your website, and it's going to look like a real magazine, and people can flip the pages right online just as if they were flipping the pages in a magazine book, and you can create your own magazine inside of Builderall. So that's another neat feature that's just an amazing feature that is going to be added very, very soon. So lots of stuff coming. Of course, in this training, we won't be able to do all that. But if there's ever a moment where you want to do all the nooks and crannies of Builderall, there is a training called Certified Partner Training, and that usually happens about once a year. And the next Certified Partner Training should start around August or September. The Certified Partner Training is happening right now. We're actually at the end of it. We're in the last month. So once this one ends, we'll take a little bit of a hiatus, and then in August or September, we'll come around and do the Certified Partner Training again. So if you're interested in going deep down and dirty with Builderall, that's the place to be. So let me stop sharing for a minute and I'll upgrade some people that are here. So Bobby is here and Emily is here and Rizwan is here. We've got a lot of great people in here. Roberto is here. Okay. So let me upgrade them to panelists so they can get online and speak if they want to. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go through the Pixel Perfect Builder. Now, the Pixel Perfect Builder is one of our website builders that we have. We have the Pixel Perfect, we have the Mobile First, and we have the Responsive. And the difference between the three is the Pixel Perfect Builder is the builder that brand new people need to go to for sure. It's the easiest one to use. And here's what I like about it. I've used builders for a long time to build websites. And one of the biggest problems I have, whether you're using WordPress or you're using Wix or Squarespace, Weebly, Dreamweaver, I even go back to the front page days. When you're using those products, the hardest thing for me was to take a picture that I wanted and put it exactly where I wanted on the website. You had to really think about everything in terms of like boxes and columns and rows, and it was really difficult to get it exactly where you wanted it. And one of the things that I used to do is actually just create almost like a spreadsheet on my page, especially when I was hand coding in HTML. I just did almost like a spreadsheet where there were cells, and I would put the things in the cells. And if you had anything that you wanted to overlap, like from one cell into another, that was like really hard to do. Near impossible, right, Phoenix? Phoenix knows. So what Builderall has done is with this Pixel Perfect Builder, they've made it possible so that you can take a picture, an image, and put it up on your website wherever you want it to go. And by golly, it'll be there. It will stay there. And it is amazing. And not only that, you can take these images and start to overlap them. So, and that was hard to do in the other builders as well. So you can create some really neat effects with images that have like transparencies and stuff like that. So you've got some really, really cool stuff you can do with the Pixel Perfect that, in my mind, you really can't do with almost any other website builder. Builderall has done a phenomenal job of making their website builder as unique and modern as they could, right? It is very, very up to date and probably ahead of the time with what you can do with it. So that's the Pixel Perfect Builder. The Mobile First Builder, we won't go into that here, but it allows you to build your website on the mobile version first. So if you know you're going to have most of your traffic on mobile, you can build on the mobile first and then go back and adapt for desktop. And then the third one is the Responsive. And the Responsive builds everything in rows and columns, kind of the old way. And you have to think about how things kind of are going to stack when it starts to change for the different views like desktop, tablet, and mobile. So you may hear sometimes around the internet that websites need to be responsive. So the first thing you might think is, I need to go to the Responsive Builder if it's responsive. Well, one of the things that Builderall has done with the Pixel Perfect Builder, and to me it's the perfect world, is it's set it up so that when you build the desktop view, it automatically responds and changes its size for the mobile, for the tablet. But then when you go to the mobile, like the smartphone view, which is a much smaller screen, you can actually adapt that view. And by adapt, I mean you can take everything that's on the desktop, you can either put it on the mobile view, or you can start rearranging things to make it look way different than the desktop. So it loads faster, it loads better, it looks better, it feels better, it works better. And you can take stuff out of the mobile view that you don't want in there that clutters up that mobile view space. So you have a lot more control over your mobile view in the Pixel Perfect Builder, because you can have the desktop version, then you can have a responsive tablet version, and then you can have an adapted mobile phone version, which gives you complete control over what it looks like to your visitors. So that's why I like the Pixel Perfect the best. I actually build mobile apps. And one of the worst things you can do when you're building a mobile app from someone is have it full of junk where it has to load and load and load stuff, because you're using up their data if they're not on Wi-Fi. So you can actually adapt that mobile so it doesn't have so much to load, and you can kind of slim it down a little bit so it loads faster and it doesn't use up so much of their data if they're not on Wi-Fi. So to me, that's the best of the best of the best, is you can build for desktop, responsive for a tablet, and then adapt for mobile. And I absolutely love it. So that's the difference between the three builders. We're going to be focusing on Pixel Perfect, of course, because that's our flagship product. So let's go ahead and jump in there and see how to start building with the Pixel Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And we'll fix this right here. There we go. And I'm going to go into my dashboard, and I'm in one of my test accounts, my daughter Tabitha's account. And you can see my dashboard right here. I'm just at the home page. If there's any point that you need to go back to the home page on the dashboard, you just click that little squid right here on the top left. And when you click it, it'll take you back to this page so that you can be back home and you can start over again and find what you need. Okay. This pops up when you first log in. You want to watch that video if you haven't seen it already. And then once you watch it, if you don't want to see it again, you just click that do not show message again. Just make sure to tick that and then click close, and it won't pop up again. Okay. So now let's go to our builders. So I'm going to click right here on builders, and then I'm going to click Pixel Perfect Builder. And then I'm just going to go to a new website. And in this list, I've got a bunch of templates I can choose from, and they're categorized. But I'm just going to go ahead and pick a blank page. And we're just going to start with a blank layout right here. So I'm going to click Edit to open it up in the editor. And it usually takes just a few minutes for it to open. And then once it's open, the very first thing I want you to do when you open up a template, before you start working in it, before you even start looking at it too hard, go ahead and click Save up in the upper right-hand corner. Click Save. And then name your website. So I'm going to call this Magnet Training. And then I'm going to click Send and Save. And what that does is it automatically adds that new site into my site list. So now I'm going to be able to go back and find it and get into it and edit it, which is really important. You want to be able to find your websites when you start working in them. So the first thing you need to do is click Save. Just remember, save is your friend for sure. So now let's talk about this Pixel Perfect. That's where we're at right now. And there's a few things I want you to know before we get started doing anything. And that is, what are all these buttons on here? It's crazy, isn't it? So up in the top right is where I'm going to start. And the first little icon says Panel. And this is a great tool to use when you are working with an e-commerce site. When you build an e-commerce site, you're going to have the web page stuff that you'll do here. But when you click Panel, that will take you to the store information where you can add your items, your categories, your shipping, your taxes. So you want to remember that that's where you go to when you're ready to set up the items in your store. Save is the next thing. And of course, save as your friend. You're going to use that a lot. The next button is Preview. If you click that, it just gives you a preview of your website. And if you look over to the side, you've actually got a little camera on the left-hand side. You can use that to take a picture of anything you've got on your website. And you can choose to take a picture of the entire page or just a section. And you can use that if you're talking to support, you need some help. You can actually take a picture of what's going on and send them a picture. Now remember, I'm in preview mode. So to get back, I just click Return to Edit, and that takes me back into my editor. The next icon is Grid Lines. If I click that, you'll see grid lines on the right-hand side, grid lines on the left-hand side, and then you'll also see a divider that shows me where my header is, my body, and my footer. So the grid lines are important to identify where the sections are of your web page. Now, why is it important to know where the sections are? Because everything between the grid lines is pretty much guaranteed to be seen by your site visitor. But if you put anything outside of those grid lines, it may or may not be seen depending on how big their monitor is and what the resolution is. So you want to make sure that if it's important information or an important image that you want your visitors to see, that you keep it inside these grid lines. Now, what's the importance of having a header and a footer? Everything you put on the header or on the footer is going to be on every single page inside a layout. Okay, we'll talk about layouts in a minute, but everything you put on the header and the footer is going to be on every single page in the layout. Everything you put on the body is only going to be on that page. That's an important concept to understand, and we'll talk more about that later. So now you're starting to see the importance of those grid lines. So you can tell easily where the edge is on the left-hand side, the edge is on the right-hand side, and then of course where your header is and where your footer is. Okay. The next area we're going to talk about is the ruler. And if I click that, it gives me a ruler on the top and a ruler on the right-hand side. And this is going to help me do a lot of things. It's going to help me kind of measure things so I can see kind of how big they are. Also, if I click on the ruler, if I just do a regular click, a left click, it actually puts a guideline on there. And if I click and drag it, it allows me to move that guideline. And I can actually start lining things up so that it looks nice and neat on my website. So I've got the ability to add guidelines on the top and on the right-hand side. And I can click and drag those however I need to drag them. I can create multiple guidelines, just like this, on the top or on the side. I can drag any of them where I need to put them. And then these guidelines are snapped to. So if I'm pulling in an image or text or any kind of element and I get close to those guidelines, it will snap to and line up with those guidelines. So that is a tremendous help when you're starting to make your website look nice and everything's lined up. Also, if you have a guideline and you don't want it on there anymore, you just right click on it and it will go away. So you just right click, right click, right click, and they go away. Right click, right click, right click, right click, and they go away. And then if you want the ruler to go away, you just click on the ruler icon at the top again and the ruler goes away. So remember, this is a great tool when you start really organizing your website and making sure that everything is lined up exactly. Because I promise you, if you have a website and things aren't lined up correctly, and they look kind of cattywampus, people won't want to stay. They just do not like when it's a little cattywampus. The next buttons are the undo and redo. I don't have a whole lot of luck with undo and redo, but they're very, very self-explanatory. If you want something to be undone, as in you just did something and you want to undo it, you can click the undo. If you click undo and you go, no, wait a minute, I want that back, you can click redo. The next area is show hide. If you click this, it actually shows you the hidden elements that you have on your website. So I'm going to go ahead and show you an element. I'm going to click the plus, and I'm going to go to image, and we'll just click and add an image right here. So we have an image on the body of our website, and I want to hide that image so that I can't see it. Now, why would you hide an image? Well, if you have an image that you want to hide for just a little while you're working on your web page because it's in the way, but you want it there, you just don't want it there while you're working, you can hide it and then bring it back later. Or if you've got an image that you want to save for that website, but you don't want the visitors to see it, you can hide it and the visitors won't see it. So to hide any element, I'm going to right click on the element and I'm going to click this little eyeball that has a slash through it. If you hover over it, it says hide. So when I click that, that picture looks like it goes away, but it's actually saving it in the show hide area. If I click on show hide, it shows me that I have that image right there. It's hidden. Now remember, the visitor won't see this image because it's hidden. You have access to it though, and you can actually reinstate it if you want to by going to this little arrow right here. if you click that arrow, it will put it right back in at the exact place it was at the time that you hit it. Okay. Then if I want this show hide box to disappear, I just click show hide again and it disappears. So you can use that. One of the things that I use it for, and you'll see me do this, is I actually save all the colors for my website and I put that into a box and then I hide it. So my visitors can't see the colors that I'm working with, but anytime that I go into my website and do some editing, I can actually show that box and it shows me the ID of all the colors that I've used for that website. So I can consistently use those colors throughout the website. And then when I'm done, I just hide it again and the visitors will never see it. So it's a really neat tool to do things like that. The next area is the backlight. And this changes the background area of your website so that you can see things better. Now it's really not useful on desktop, but if you go to the mobile view, which is over here on the left-hand side, if I click mobile, you can see that I've got a mobile kind of image right here, but then I've got a lot of background, and white on white makes it super hard to edit. But if I click on that backlight, it changes the background color so that I can see my mobile much better. And now I can actually work in there and see things way easier. If I click it again, it makes it a lighter gray. If I click it again, it makes it white again. So I can toggle back and forth between the dark gray, the light gray, and the white. So that's just making it easier for you to edit the mobile view. I'm going to go back to my desktop view. And the next thing I'm going to show you is this change border. A lot of times when you're working on a site, the border color of everything is really a wacky color and it blends in with your background. So if you notice, if I click on here, this has like a little bitty green outline. If I click on the header, it's got a little bitty green outline. So let's say that the background of your website was green. Well, you wouldn't be able to see that border right there to help you know where all the elements are at. So if you click on change border, it will actually change the color of it. So it's changed this border to yellow now. And if I click this picture, the border colors changed. Let's go ahead and put in a box. So we'll choose a box. And I'm going to make this box white. I'm going to go to colors and we'll choose white. And you can see now that the border for the box is a blue color. Okay, so if my background is blue, that would be mighty hard to see. So I would need to change the color of the border again. So if I click it again, it changes it to a gray color. If I click it again, it changes it to white, which we can't see at all. And then if I change it again, it changes it back to green. So you can toggle back and forth between several different colors. So let's go ahead and go through all of the colors again. So watch that box and watch the colors that change. So I'm going to go to click the button. It's blue. Now it's gray. Now it's white, so we can't see it. And it's back to green. So you have several options to work with in order to identify your elements. And I want you to notice, I'm going to click outside of that white box so you cannot see it anymore. You can't see where that white box is at. But if I hover over it with the mouse, I'm not clicking on it, I'm just hovering, you can see the outline. That's another important tool. That border helps you find things such as this box that's white. And every once in a while, you'll have problems with moving things. It won't let you move something up or it won't let you move something down. And that's because something is in the way. So you take your mouse and you hover until you find that thing that's in the way, and then you can click and drag it and move it out of the way. So that's just another tool, is that border, to be able to manage all of the elements that you have on your web page. So that's the change border icon. The next thing I want to show you is this little menu right here. It's a drop down and it shows you all of the layouts that you have on your website and all the pages inside that layout. And this is a quick way to jump between pages so that you can edit pages. So you can click that page and it will take you to that page so you can edit that page. So it's a really fast way to get between pages. Then over here, we've got some more icons. The first one on the left-hand side, is change size. And what this does is it changes the size of this border area on the right and left. So if I click it, it allows me to switch between 1240 pixels wide or 990 pixels wide. If I click 990, you'll see that the border actually came in. Those little guidelines actually came in. That just makes the area that you're going to have all your stuff in a lot smaller. This is good for smaller monitors like little netbooks and stuff like that. But if your users are going to be possibly on bigger monitors, you need some more space. So if you click change again and go to the 1240, it actually widens it again. So there's your grid lines on the left and on the right. It's a little bit wider, so you've got a little bit more space to work with to put your content for your website. This button right here is Enable Drop, and what it does is it works for the mobile view to stack everything in a way that it kind of mushes all of the layers together. So instead of, if you've got 5 layers deep of elements, it will kind of mush them into one item so that it doesn't take so long to load. So you can click this to make it so that it loads your mobile version a lot faster. These 2 icons right here allow you to toggle between mobile and editing the mobile view and desktop and editing the desktop view. There is a third view that you can choose to edit, and that's over here, and I'll show you where to set that in just a moment. So those are all the tools up at the very top. Now let's talk about all of these tools on the left-hand side. So the first one is your page icon, and when you click that, the first click is going to show you your layouts. And if you'll notice, it says My Layouts right here. Right now, there's only one layout, and all a layout is a collection of pages. That's all a layout is a collection of pages. So in this first layout, I can click the arrow, and right here, I have the layout settings. These are the buttons that I can use to affect my whole layout. So if I click the red trash can, I'm deleting the layout. If I click this green paper, that means I'm changing the background for the layout, which means all pages are affected. If I click this A, that means I can customize the font that's available in this layout. Remember, it's affecting the layout. So if I have 2 layouts, it's only affecting this layout that I'm in. If I want to do the layout settings, I can click the layout settings button, and there I have a lot of options. I'm going to go ahead and click layout settings to show you what we can do. We can upload a favicon, which is that little bitty teeny tiny picture that's up in the browser tab. So all the way up here in the very top, that little bitty paintbrush right there that you see, that's actually a favicon. And you can put in a favicon for your website. The title of the layout, right now it says default, but I can change that to a lead magnet boot camp. And that will change the name of the layout. I can also put a description in there, and that is SEO sensitive. So is the title. So if you put your keywords in the title and your keywords in the description for your website, you'll actually be able to rank better on these search engines. You also have an area for keywords. So make sure you're collecting the keywords you want to use for your website. You've got an area for meta tags, and Rob Gordon did a fantastic video on YouTube for meta tags, so look that up. Here's the space where you put your pixel script for Facebook. If you've got any other scripts like Google Analytics, you can put those scripts right here. And then random scripts that you want to use for your website, you can put those right here. And then in this area, we've got a MailingBoss integration key where you can actually integrate some really neat features with MailingBoss. We won't talk about those in this training, but in a more advanced trainings, we'll actually get to how to integrate MailingBoss into your website so you can collect information and show really neat information. So that is the settings and SEO on your layout. I'm going to click save to save the changes that I made. And now you see that my layout, the name has changed to Lead Magnet Bootcamp. Okay, I'm going to click the arrow to look at my pages. I only have one page, and I can filter the pages. If I've got a whole lot of pages, I can actually just start to type the name of the page, and it will actually pull it up for me. If I have a whole bunch of pages, I can choose to organize them alphabetically by checking this. Or if I uncheck that, that means I can click and drag my pages and order them however I want to. Now this right here is the home page. You see that it's got a black icon with the house on it. That means this is the home page. And I can change the home page at any time that I want to. If I want to do some editing of the page information, I just click this little gear to configure the page settings. And this is everything I can do on the page. It looks really similar to the layout settings, but this time I'm affecting only this page. And right here, I've got some icons. The first one is the delete button, so I can delete this page. The second one is changing the background for only this page. The third one is conversion testing. This is where I can set up an A/B split test or even do some click analytics, like did they click this button? Did they click that button? What device were they using when they clicked this button? So these are click analytics, and you can actually take a look at how things are being clicked on your website, or you can set up an A/B split test. This button right here is transfer page. This allows you to transfer a page from one layout to another in the same website. And then if you want to duplicate a page, you can actually duplicate right here. That allows you to make an exact copy of this particular page. If you want to connect a pop-up so that a pop-up appears on the page, this is where you'll do that. You have to create the pop-up, so that's a different area. But once the pop-up is created, you can configure that pop-up to show up on this page. And you can choose whether it shows up immediately or if it only shows up if they scroll down to a certain place on the page or if they try to exit the page. So there's a lot of different ways you can set up a pop-up for your page. Here's where you can name your page. And I want you to notice that we can name this home page. And then here's our address for our page. And I always do my addresses in all lowercase. That makes it a little bit easier to remember when you're trying to access your pages. And I want you to take a look at down here. This is the preview on Google. And this shows me what it's going to look like on the tab up here. And right now it showed me as Lead Magnet Bootcamp and then a little pipe symbol and then nothing after that. And that's because my title is empty. So if I type in home page and then I hit update, it's going to show Lead Magnet Bootcamp, which is the name of the layout, and then home page, which is the name of the page. So this is what the preview of the page is going to look like. Then I can put a description inside my page settings. And remember that the name, the address, the title, and the description are all SEO sensitive. So if you're using your keywords, you're going to increase your chance of being ranked better. Then you've got a keyword area on the page. So you make sure your keywords are in there as well. And then scrolling down, this is important. A lot of people don't know where this is at. There's a share image area. So let's say that you're sharing the link to this page onto Facebook. If you want a specific image to show up as your share image, then you can upload that right here. And that image will appear when you share the link to this page. So that's actually a really important image to put up to make sure that you've got the exact right image to show if someone shares your page. Then if you've got scripts that are required to be put in the header of the page or the head of the page, you can put those scripts right here. And then here's some more with Mailing Boss where we can set up tags so that specific tags appear if somebody visits your page. And those tags go into Mailing Boss. So you can start to send special messages out only to people that have those tags. So we won't be doing those advanced features in this training, but later on in the year, we'll have a more advanced training on Mailing Boss. So that is all the page information. If I click return, I go back to the page list. If I click all layouts, I go back to all my layouts. If I want to add a layout, all I do is click add layout. It pulls up a bunch of pre-made layouts. I can also choose one of my own layouts. So I have several different websites that I've worked on already, and I can pull in a layout from there, or I can pull in a template that's already there. So let's just go ahead and pull up a under construction. That's really good. And we'll click this one right here with the check mark. And I just have to label it. So I'm going to label it under construction. And then I'll click confirm. And now it's added that under construction layout. So now I have two layouts. And I want you to remember that every single layout, every page inside of a layout is going to have the same header and the same footer. But if you have different layouts, they can have different headers and different footers. So if I click into this first layout, you can see that my header is empty. It doesn't have anything in it. And if I added a new page, it would have the same header and the same footer. But in the under construction layout, I have a different header and I have a different footer. And every single page that's in this second layout will get this header and this footer. Okay, that's a really important concept to understand, because once you start working with navigation and building your menus for people to go from one page to another or one layout to another, you want to make sure you understand how to set up those menus, because the headers and the footers will be different in different layouts. Okay, so that's super important. So now let's go into the under construction layout, and I'm going to go look at the pages. So I'm going to click the arrow. Here's all the pages that I have inside that layout. So I have a home page, a disclaimer, privacy policy, and terms of website use. If I check mark to put in alphabetical order, if I check mark that, it's going to put them all in alphabetical order. If I uncheck it, then I can click and drag these pages into whatever order I want to. If I want to add a page, I just click Add Page, and I can choose from the templates that exist already on pages. So I've got several different options. We'll just go ahead and grab this page right here. It looks like a resume page, so we're just going to call it Resume. So I'm going to name it Resume and click Confirm. And now I have a new page inside of that layout, and that layout's Under Construction is the name of it. And now this layout has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. And if you'll notice, when I added the resume page, it put the page in there, but it made the same header and the same footer that all of the other pages have in this layout. Okay, so that's a really important concept to understand. So now that we've gone through pages, now we can take a look at the next item, which is text. If you click this area, it shows you all of the text that you have available to use as you're building your website. So you have an H1 style text, and you have that for desktop and mobile. You have H2 style text, and you have that for desktop and mobile. H3, H4, and then you've got some body text format. But what you'll do here is you're going to set what you want to be the size and style of your text. So if you chose a H1 text, you want to set up what you want your text to look like if you grab an H1. So if I click on there, it allows me to set up the desktop view and the mobile view of what I want that text to look like. So for this one, maybe I want the text to be 65 instead of 55. So you can see that my desktop size is going larger. And then for the line height, I may want it a little bit shorter. So I can click the down arrow, and you can see that it's getting closer together. If I click the up arrow, they get a little bit farther apart. And then letter spacing. Do I want spacing between the letters? If I increase that, you can see that the spacing changes. It's actually changing on the mobile, so I will turn that into the developers. And then you can choose to bold your text. You can italicize your text, and you can change the color of your text. We'll change it to red. Then you have the same ability to change all of that on your mobile. So you can change the font style, the font size. So I'm going to make it smaller so that it works better for mobile. The line height you can change, the letter spacing you can change. You can mandate on mobile if all of your text that's in H1 is centered. That helps tremendously. That's a new feature they've added. And when you go in to work on the mobile, if you center it manually, you'll make the desktop change. But if you go in here and center it this way, it will center on mobile, but not center on desktop. You can also bold your mobile view. You can italicize, or you don't have to. And you can change the color of it as well. So here I can have it blue on mobile instead of red. Once you get it all set the way you want to, you just close that up. And now that's actually ready to be used on your website. So that's how you set up all of your text before you ever start working on your website. The next area is the plus symbol. And I'm going to go back to our blank page at the very beginning, our home page. And we'll play with this plus area. So if I click plus, this is the area that has all of the elements that I can add to my website. So I can add a pop-up, I can add text, I can add auto funnel tags. This is fantastic. I'm doing a full boot camp on auto funnel tags. I can add banners. And when you're working with the Pixel Perfect, you want to think of banners as the main way to build your website. So you'll be using banners a lot. You can make boxes and lines. You can create buttons. You can add images, just like I did a little earlier. You can add image galleries, which are collections of images that behave differently depending on which gallery you choose. You can create menus, so you can navigate between either pages or places on the page, which are called anchors. You can add audio and video. You can work with social media and create social media links. You can create a contact form or an email marketing form to collect information, which is what we're going to do in our boot camp. You can add animated counters, which are countdown counters to count down to a specific date or time. We've got apps. We'll go through apps in just a few minutes. We've got hover elements, which are elements when you add them to your page and the visitor mouses over them, something changes. They're actually really cool. Then we've got timers, and timers actually allow you to count down to a specific time. Animated counters are a little bit different. Like you can put an animated counter on there that counts up to a specific percentage or up to a number. Timers count down to a specific date and time. So both of them are a little bit different. You've got checkouts. So now you can create a checkout system to sell a physical or a digital product. You've got sales funnels. So you can actually create full-blown sales funnels to be able to create a funnel for your customer. And we are going to create a magnet funnel. So you'll learn how to do a simple funnel in this boot camp. And then we've got blog apps. If you add a blog to your website, you can use these blog apps to add some really neat effects and really cool features on any of the pages in your website. And it can pull in like some of your articles or something like that you have on your blog. So the blog apps are a really neat tool. So now let's go back to the apps area, because when I click on there, I've got several apps I can create and add to my website. So I can add a PayPal button. This is independent of the checkout. So these are really easy to use. If you've got one or two items that you want to add to a page, you can add them using a PayPal checkout. It makes it really easy. You can add an HTML box. This HTML box allows you to add your own HTML code. Webinar. If you're going to do a live webinar using Builderall's webinar platform, you can actually add a broadcast room right into your website. So you can activate it and then send people to your website to watch your webinar through Builderall. So it's actually really cool. E-learning. Builderall has an e-learning platform, and you can actually embed that e-learning into your website. So you can create a full-blown course in that e-learning and then embed it into your website. And then GDPR. This is a big deal for people that are living in the European nations. GDPR is a required thing that you do on your website, and this is one of the ways that you can manage your GDPR. Anchor point, this allows you to create a point on a page that you can create a menu item, and if they click that menu item, it takes them not only to the page that you want, but the point on the page that you want. So this is an anchor point, and this is how you add it to your page. You can add a review area. So if you want people to maybe ask questions or review you or your product, you can add this to the web page. Shopify, if you already have a Shopify store, you can actually set up some neat features to be able to integrate Shopify into your website. An OpenTable is a reservation system. If you're building a website for a restaurant, you can actually set it up so that they can take reservations online using the OpenTable system. So those are all the additional apps inside of the Plus and then apps area. The next area I want to show you is the double gears. If you click the double gears, the first item is GDPR configuration. This sets the configuration for the entire website. So it's here where you can set up your GDPR for everything on your website. You can also create a sitemap here. You've also got website settings here. If you click on that, you'll see that you can turn the tablet mode on. Right now it's off. And you can tell that because I've only got desktop showing and mobile showing. But if I turn the tablet mode on, so I say yes, and then I click save, you'll see that I've got a new little icon up there. And now I can edit the tablet view if I want to and make it a completely different view from the desktop. Or if I want it responsive, meaning I want it to show exactly what's on the desktop, I can just go to website settings and set it to no, and then save, and that tablet view goes away and it will show exactly what's on the desktop. Also in website settings, I have the ability to turn off the mobile view. I have use scale for mobile devices. That means it takes whatever on the desktop and makes it smaller, and it tries to make it fit onto the mobile. Also, if you have any place where you're popping up to for the user to send an email, you can put your reply to email in here, and then if they automatically send an email, it will fill out that reply to email. So if they reply to it, it will have your email in there. The app language, while I'm working in this builder, my language is English, but you can change that to many, many different languages.
Wow.
Also, how do you want to display your page title? When we talk about the page title, and we looked at it a few minutes, we could do it the layout name first and then the page name to appear in the tab. Or we can change it and go page name first, then layout name, and that will appear up in the tab. So you have some choices with how you want your tab to show your page information. And then it says, what separator do you want to use between the page and the layout? You have a pipe symbol, but you also have other symbols as well. So you can choose a different separator to show the layout and then the page name. And then the mobile tab color, if you're accessing this for from Google Chrome or Android on a mobile device, you can actually change the tab color if you want to. And that's the very top of the mobile device, the tab color that shows up on the mobile device. So you can actually change that color from whatever the default is to whatever matches your website. Okay, so that is in the website settings under the double gears. Then we've got user management. If you create a membership area or you have a checkout system and they have to register on your site, you can use your manager. You can manage your users right here by clicking user management, and it will give you their email and when they registered. And then if you've got a restricted area, you can either give them access manually or you can take away access by disabling their access. So lots of neat stuff you can do in managing your users here. Then managing your user registration fields. So when you click this, it shows you all the information it's going to collect by default. But if you're selling a digital product, or sorry, a physical product, and you want to get their email, not their email, but their physical address, you can just click add and you can create more fields. So you can collect their address, their city, their state, and their zip code. So you know the place to send their physical product that they bought from you. And then these fields are default. You cannot remove them and you cannot edit them. But if you add any more fields, you can just click and drag them and reorder them, and you can edit them and rename them however you want to. Okay. Then here we've got an area called coupon configuration. If you're selling an item and you want to create some coupons, or if you're an affiliate of something like Amazon and you've got some great Amazon coupons you want to give out, you can actually put those coupons in here. And there's a couple of ways you can use them. You can, if you're selling your own product and you've got your own coupon, you can use it in your own checkout. If you're doing like an Amazon coupon, you can actually do an Amazon coupon funnel. And if you'll look in your training area of Builderall, there's a whole training on how to use that. And you can give out Amazon coupons, and then you can put your affiliate links. So they have to click it and then use that coupon, and you'll make money if they purchase anything. So the coupon configuration is a pretty neat way to do some cool stuff with Builderall. And then manage action counters. This is a little bit advanced, but it allows you to go in and manage the click setup that you have, so you can monitor how many times a button gets clicked or how many times an image gets clicked or something like that. So anytime they take an action, if you register that action, you can tell how many times that's happened. And if you click the editor, it will allow you to activate it, so it'll start capturing the information. And then you can look at that information later and see where the action is happening on your website. And how is this useful? Let's say I've got a page and I've got a button at the top and a button at the bottom. I can put an action counter on those buttons, and then it'll tell me where do they click the button the most, at the top or the bottom. If they're clicking at the top the most, maybe I can take the bottom button out or change it up a little bit, put it one in the center and one at the bottom. So it just kind of gives you an idea of what's working on your website. So that's the action counters. So we've covered everything in the double gears. Now I'm going to click the shopping bag, and this is where you're going to manage all the information about selling something on your website. So the first one is Payment Manager. This is where you're going to set up how you're going to receive your payments in your e-commerce store, not e-commerce, but in your checkout system. So if I click that, it gives me several options. I've got PayPal, Stripe, Braintree, and Authorize.net. And then I've also got some external options, including JVZoo and ClickBank. I can also click Sales Manager. And if I sell anything through a checkout, it will show up here, and it will show me what they purchased, if the payment went through correctly. Lots of neat stuff that it shows me here to track any sales that I have through my checkout system. The Manage Automated Emails. There's an automated set of emails that go out in the website. It's not part of Mailing Boss. It's actually integrated into the website when you use a checkout system. And those automated emails include abandoned cart, purchase complete, recurring payment, and recurrence canceled. And you can edit any of these emails to say exactly what you want them to say. So that is in the automated email area. So let's go ahead and take a look right there. Manage automated email. Then we've got another one, manage external platform email. So if you're doing your emails through a different platform other than Mailing Boss, you can work on sending those automated emails. You're just going to have to set it up so they send through the other service. Then you've got sales funnel information. So if you want to build a sales funnel, which we will be doing, but we won't use this area. It's a little bit different. We're building a really simple sales funnel. But if you want to build a very involved sales funnel, you'll use this area. And then create and manage coupons. So remember, we looked at coupons a little while ago. This is the area where you're going to create them. So I can create them and manage them right here. The next button is the blog button. If I click on that, it says add blog. If I click that button, it's going to go ahead and create several pages and add them to the website for me automatically. And then I can go in and edit those pages, make the blog look exactly like how I want it to, and I can manage my blog right from this area. So that's the blog, and it works beautifully. There's a lot of beautiful blogs out there that are being used by Builderall users. And then the last one is the e-commerce. And if I click on that, you can create a store, which works exactly like create a blog, where you click on it, it creates a bunch of pages in the background, and then you can edit those pages to make them look however you want them to look. And then once you've made the pages look how you want them to look, then you're going to go over here to the panel, and you'll click that to be able to add your products, add categories, add shipping, add tax. So this button right here works together with the control button right here to be able to build your store and add your products. So now we've gone completely through the Pixel Perfect Builder. And before I move on, I want to go ahead and stop sharing and see if you have any questions. So any questions, you guys? No? I'm going to add a few new users because they have jumped in. Here we go.
Shelley?
Yeah, Phoenix, go ahead.
Hi there, everyone. I've been just checking things in the comment box. So if you've got any questions in between that you don't want to ask out loud, feel free to drop them in there and I will try and answer them. Two questions that came up that might be useful for everybody else is Ava's asked if you change the H1 in one place, will it change everywhere? And the second question that came in as well is if you delete something from the hide box, will it then delete everywhere? So if you can maybe just comment on those.
Yes, yes. So the first one was, what was the first one again? If you change the if you change the H1 in that text area, will it affect everything that's the H1? And the answer is yes. The only exception is if you customized it. If you change the style, there's a little button on there that you can change the style and change the text and change the size and change the color. If you have not customized it, then it's going to take that text setting and it's going to change it for you because you're standardizing your website is what that is. That's what that allows you to do. So if you change it in the main area, it's going to change it everywhere. And for those of you that have done CSS, Cascade Styling Sheets, that's kind of what that T does, is it sets up your CSS settings so that you set it in one place and then it'll be the same throughout the entire website. So if you grab that H1, it's going to be the same no matter what page you're on because you've already set it in that little T area. Okay. The next question was, what was the next question?
There was just a comment that if you hide anything in the hide box, you can delete it there if you want, but just make sure that you don't delete it from your main website as well if you were hiding it on your mobile view.
Actually, you're going to have, if it's hidden, you'll have to unhide it and then delete it. Yeah, it's a little picky there, but if it's hidden, you can't delete it straight from the hide box. You have to unhide it and then delete it. And then be careful because on the mobile view, if you're going to unhide, if you click that delete button, it will actually throw it back into hidden because what it's trying to do is make sure that you have all the elements that are on the desktop on your mobile. And if you don't want them on your mobile, it's okay, just hide them. And if you click delete on the mobile version, it will hide it, it won't delete it. And that's for a reason. It doesn't want to recreate that item if you don't need to. So you just hide things that you don't want on your mobile view, and then on desktop view, if you want it gone, delete will make it absolutely gone. Any other questions, you guys? All right, you're doing good. So
sorry, Shelley, it's me again. I had a question, and just for everybody else, I've been doing the certified training and I've been working in Builderall for a while. And there are still things that I just am picking up even today. And I'm in this with Shelley for, I don't know, hours now for the last couple of months. I have no idea. So just to let you know, Builderall is deep and big. And that's one of the things I love about it. One thing you showed us today was when you go to managing your website settings, there was a box where you could manage which fields you want in your emails. Like you said, the email, the first name, etc.
Right.
Can you just maybe explain to everyone how that is different from actually creating an opt-in page or opt-in box or subscribing box on your web page, like you would for a lead magnet funnel, and then you can see those fields separate? Those seem to be two different areas, and it might create confusion.
I actually will, because we're going to go into MailingBoss, and I'll show the differences there on setting all of that up and make sure they understand those differences. Because right now we're like really crunched for time, and I'm over an hour, and I still haven't gone through it. We've only done 2 things. So we'll save that for the MailingBoss day, and we'll have a lot of time to do that on the MailingBoss day. But thank you so much for reminding me that I definitely need to cover that, because it does get really confusing. One of the most confusing to me was actually trying to teach people how to do a physical product, sell a physical product versus a digital product, and the differences on how to set that up. So we'll actually cover that information as well. So lots to cover in 7 days for sure. You keep me honest though, Phoenix. You make sure I cover it on Mailing Boss Day. Okay.
Okay, I'll put it in the parking page.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, so the next thing I want to go over with you guys really quickly is Mailing Boss, because that's our autoresponder. That's what we're going to use to set up our email list so that when we create this lead magnet funnel, we're collecting emails. So let's take a look really quickly at Mailing Boss. I won't go into a lot of detail because we're going to go through all of that when we do Mailing Boss Day. But let me go ahead and share my screen, and I can at least show you where to get into Mailing Boss and some really cool stuff about Mailing Boss. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And so I'm in my editor, and whatever changes I've made so far, I need to remember to save and save again, because save is my friend. So you always want to remember to save before you leave your screen. And then I'm going to go over to my dashboard, and this is my dashboard. And remember, I may want to go back to my home page of the dashboard. Right now I'm in my website template area, and I just want to go back to the home page. So I'm going to click that little squid right there. And that takes me all the way back to the very beginning. And again, you can make that video disappear, but I always keep it popping up. I don't know why I keep it popping up, but for me, it's important to see it. But anyway, let's take a look real quick how we can get back to our website if we want to open it again, because that seems to be something that some people get stuck on. So if I go to Builders, and then I go to Pixel Perfect Drag and Drop, if I click that, and then I go to My Sites, when I do that, it's going to give me a list of all of my websites. And if I scroll down, right here is my lead magnet training. And if I go all the way over here to the right-hand side, I've got an edit button. If I click edit, it will reopen the editor. It will reopen that website so I can start editing again. And once we get ready to publish, I'll show you how to do that in this area. So that's how I get back to my website if I want to edit. So the next thing I'm going to show you is how to get into Mailing Boss. So all I do is just look down until I find Mailing Boss, and I'm going to click Mailing Boss Autoresponder. And then I've got this neat little screen that has a bazillion training videos, which are all absolutely wonderful. But when you want to get into Mailing Boss to actually work, you just click Access Mailing Boss. And then this is going to open up the Mailing Boss dashboard so you can get started on building your subscriber list and your email sequences. So this particular screen is the Mailing Boss dashboard. It shows you the very last subscriber list you made. It lets you create a subscriber list on the fly. It lets you create an email on the fly. And then you've got a lot of neat things that you can do on the top and on the left-hand side, a lot of different menu items. So this is where we're going to do our email sequence that we're going to set up for our lead magnet. So before I go any further, I want to actually talk to you about what is a lead magnet and what is an autoresponder, because a lot of people don't know. So a lead magnet is something that you're going to use as a gift to give away to someone in exchange for their email. So I might give away a ebook or a report or some kind of PDF or even access to a little software or something like that for free. And because I value that person, I want their email and their name, their first name would be great, because I'm going to add them to my mailing list, and then I'm going to send them information about my products and my services. So a lead magnet and using a lead magnet is a way to start building an email list so that you can start promoting your own products or your own services. So you want to make sure that your lead magnet is pretty closely related to whatever your product or service is. So obviously you wouldn't want to have a lead magnet that was the 21 best smoothie recipes, but you sell business coaching. I don't think that would go real well, right? You just gave them smoothie recipes, but you want to try to sell them business coaching. Doesn't really mix. So you want to make sure that whatever your lead magnet is, it's fairly close. It doesn't have to be exact, but fairly close, whatever your product or service is. Because imagine all those people that got the smoothie recipes, they're going to get emails from you promoting your business coaching service. And they're going to be like, who is this person? I just wanted some smoothies, right? So you got to make sure that they're at least a little bit related so that you have a targeted list, a good list that's going to be an active list. And they're going to want to open your emails and consider purchasing your product or service. So it has to be kind of related there. The next thing is an autoresponder. Now we're going to add these people's names and their email into an autoresponder. And an autoresponder is one of the coolest things since probably the toilet. It's just the most awesome thing. And what it allows you to do is it allows you to set up an email sequence, which is a collection of emails that are going to go out on a timed basis based on when the person signed up for the list. So I may sign up for the list today and get the welcome email right away. And then 2 days later, I get another email. And 2 days later, I get another email. And 2 days later, I get another email. But let's say that Michelle signs up, and she signs up way after I do, maybe a week later. She's going to get the same exact sequence of emails, but she's going to get it on different days depending on when she signed up. So on her first day, she will get the first welcome email. And then 2 days later, she'll get the next one. And 2 days later, she'll get the next one. So she's going to get all the same emails that I got on that sequence. It's just that we get them based on the day that we signed up. Okay, that's an autoresponder. And it's so cool because you set it once and then you don't mess with it again. And that's what we're going to do in this class is we're going to learn how to find a lead magnet, put the funnel together, set up an email sequence, and then get basic traffic. And you can start building your email list of targeted people that will buy your product or service. Okay, so it's really, 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 really exciting. I can't wait to get it all done for you guys so that you can see the end product and see what you can do with it. So that's an autoresponder and whatever the other one was, a lead magnet. So hopefully you'll understand really well what those are. And the next thing I want to do is talk about traffic, because it's not always good enough to build it, right? It's not like Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. It doesn't work that way. You can have the most beautiful website and the best, a bazillion-dollar ebook available. But if nobody knows about it, they're not going to find you and they're not going to get the ebook and they're not going to be on your list. So when you do all this, you build this funnel and you add the lead magnet and everybody's going into your mailing box list and it's all golden. Now you got to get traffic. And traffic can be done a couple different ways. We can have organic traffic or we can have paid traffic. And one of the biggest things I want you to understand is if you do not have a lot of money to spend for paid traffic, then you're going to spend an equal amount of time to get that traffic that you would normally pay for, right? So you're either going to spend money or you're going to spend time. Sometimes it's both. You spend some money and you spend some time because most people do paid methods and organic methods. But I promise you, there's never going to be a moment where if you're not doing paid advertising, that it's just going to happen instantly for you. It's going to take time. Organic traffic methods take time. But there's a couple ways you can do organic methods. One of them is Facebook, where you create your own group, you join other groups, you add value to the groups, and then you, every once in a while, besides adding value, you actually promote something that you are selling or a service that you're providing. You have to be very careful with that, though, because some groups don't allow you to do that. So read their rules really carefully. But it doesn't matter if you have your own group. You can do that all you want in your own group. So you can actually start creating your own groups and your own Facebook pages now and use those as an organic method of creating traffic that send people to your lead magnet. YouTube is another organic method that is fabulous. That is actually how I started with Builderall. Is I did YouTube training videos, and I did a bunch of them, and just cranked them out, and cranked them out, and cranked them out. And people were finding me and subscribing to my YouTube channel, and then wanting to join my team. So that was a great way to generate some traffic to be able to get some leads for Builderall. And let me tell you something. Don't wait till your videos are perfect, because one of my biggest videos that has the most views of all videos, I'm still embarrassed, is I did a training on how to make money in Builderall, right? I was in my pajamas. I had like no makeup on. My hair was like this. And I was in my brown recliner, just relaxing as I was talking about how to make money with Builderall. To me, when I look at it now, I'm like, oh my gosh, I did that out in the wide open. I did that. But it's still, I did a new one where I had makeup on, and I think I even had a green screen behind me. So it looked great. It still has not even come close to the number of views I have for the one where I look terrible. So never wait until everything's perfect. Whatever method you use to get traffic, whether it's Facebook groups or YouTube videos, it doesn't matter. Just do it. You'll get better as you go, but do it first. You know, there's no way to know how to improve unless you start now. So definitely do it. And then once you do some organic methods and start to get a few leads that way, then maybe you can spend some of that money you've earned to do some paid traffic. And paid traffic could be Facebook ads, or you could do solo ads. Solo ads are where you give your information to somebody that has an email list, and they will send your information out to them, and they guarantee that you get a certain number of clicks. It doesn't mean you get a certain number of signups. It just means that you get maybe 100 people to click on your link to see what you have to offer. And then from there, they'll decide if they want to join you or not. Solo ads are risky. My take on it is, if you have the money to spend and lose, try solo ads. If you do not have the money to spend and lose, don't try solo ads, because it's very iffy whether you'll get results or not. And especially if you don't know the vendor that you're buying from, because it could be either way, where you get great results or you get zero results. So be careful with solo ads and only invest. It's kind of like when you go to the casino, you only take the amount of money you're willing to lose, right? So with solo ads, in my mind, only invest the amount of money you're willing to lose. And then if you do get some signups and they do join your team, you're better off. You actually ended up ahead of the game. Okay, so just be very careful with solo ads. I'm going to show you a place where you can get some training on all this. So I'm going to go share, and we'll go back into our dashboard. And if I go into my dashboard, I'm going to go back to the home page. So I'm clicking that squid to go all the way back to the home page. And there's that silly video that keeps popping up. So I'll click close. And then right here, I believe in the quick start area, if I click that button, well, no, let's see. Let me see if they put it into this area. So let me bounce around a little bit. I think they've changed it on me. So let me go back here, and we'll go to the training area. So these are the tutorials and videos. So under tutorials and videos, let's see if we've got quick start there. Nope, same area. So they have changed it. There are some great videos. I'll try to find exactly where they're at, and I'll try to put the link inside of the area where the replay is at.
It's on the Builderall Business. Is the quick start?
Is it that one?
Yes.
That's it. All right. So under Builderall Business, if you go to quick start, so it's different than the quick start that shows up at the top here. But if you go Builderall Business and then quick start, all of this will show. But what you want to do is go all the way to the bottom. And right here, we've got some great beginner training on how to buy solo ads, how to do Instagram advertising, how to do Facebook advertising, and how to do YouTube advertising. So take a look at all of that because those are really good videos on how to get started with that. So that's fantastic. So the next thing that I want to share with you is actually working with lead magnets. So there's several different places that you can get lead magnets from. All you have to do is look, first of all, in Builderall. We actually have provided, I don't know how many templates that have the lead magnets already included. So I'm going to go to share my screen. And we'll go to up here in Builderall, and we'll go down to Builders and Pixel Perfect and New Website. So we're going to look at our templates, and we have a bunch of templates available. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Sales Funnel, and I'm going to click this arrow, and then I'm going to go all the way down and find Lead Magnet Funnel. If I click on that, nope, that's not the one. List Building Funnels. Under List Building Funnels, I've got these funnels that are created already. They are lead magnet funnels. They're actually already built for you, and they have the lead magnet in there. So here's one on internet marketing. So it already has the lead magnet there for you. Do you want to look young, have younger skin? It's already got the lead magnet ebook in there for you. Do you want to win big by playing poker online? It's already got the ebook in there for you. So these are pre-made templates that actually have the lead magnet already there. So let's take a look at the internet marketing one. I'm going to click edit. And we'll take a look at what this looks like on the inside. So here's the first page, and this is the opt-in page. And this is where our lead magnet, we talk about our lead magnet. And then they have to fill out the form to be able to get access to that lead magnet. Now, the thing I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm looking at this entire website to see what all is in there. To do that, I'm just going to hit my page icon. There's my layout. So I have just one layout. And if I click the arrow, it shows me all my pages. So I've got a lead capture page. Then I have an email confirmation page. Then I have a thank you page. And on that thank you page, I have a button. And that button is where the user downloads the free ebook, the lead magnet. So if I right click on this button and go to action, it's going to show me that the PDF is already connected. So we already have the PDF there. Then it's got some legal pages, including the disclaimer page, privacy policy, terms of website use. And then we've also got a contact page that you can use if you want to as well. So this one has a lot of great pages to get you set up for a lead capture funnel or a lead magnet funnel. And like I said, the lead magnet is already there for you. But there's other ways that you can find lead magnets as well. If you don't find lead magnets that are to your liking and they don't fit your service or your product, you can actually find some on the internet. And you'll find some using a thing called PLR, or private label rights. So private label rights are a way for you to buy ebooks and then be able to use them how you want to use them for your product or service. And there's a lot of services out there that provide ebooks like this. So if I just type in, let me go to Google, and I'm going to type in private label rights. And when I do that, there's the definition of private label rights. And here is how you can use private label rights. And then here is the PLR store. That's one place you can go to purchase PLR products, including lead magnets. ID PLR is one that I use. It's got over 12,500 PLR products that you can download. And you can buy them, you can pay for their access monthly, or you can pay for a lifetime access. And I actually got lifetime access. There's several different others. Here's Buy Quality PLR right here. PLR Assassin right here. Resale rights right here. All of those are potential areas where you can get private label rights products. I'm going to take you into PLR because that's the one that I use, and I will show you exactly how it works. So this is ID PLR coming up. I'm going to log in so I can access everything. And I'm a lifetime member. So what I do is hit the gold area, And then here's the ebooks that I can access. And I can use the private label rights ebook or the giveaway rights to be able to use for what I want to use. And I hear somebody's microphone. Let me see if I can find that and turn it off. Sorry about that, guys. I think I got it. Okay, let me go back to sharing. But we've got there's tons and tons of products. So under Gold members, ebooks, I've got private label rights, which allows me to do just about anything I want to with it, and then giveaway rights. So let me go ahead and choose just giveaway rights. If I click that, it allows me to give these items away. And here's one that I can just give away, a 12-point checklist and kickstart your business. So giveaway rights. 30 days of motivation, giveaway rights. So any of these products, you want to make sure that before you actually give them away, that you read all of the rules, because each one, the rules might be a little bit different, but each one has the set of rules that come with the product, so you can see exactly what you can and cannot do. Some of them say you can give them away if you're building a list. Some of them say you cannot change the graphics. Some of them say you cannot change the product at all. So just make sure you're reading the rules carefully. And to find the rules, you just click on the item. And then you scroll down, and here's everything that you can do as far as product terms. So in this particular item, it looks like almost everything you can do. There's just a very few that you cannot do. So these are great products to grab and use to start building right away using them in Lead Magnet Funnel. Okay, so that is how to go and find your lead magnets. So we've been going for a little over an hour now, and I've got a training that's coming up in about 30 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and end it. The only thing we didn't do today was cover how to build your own lead magnet. So tomorrow when we start, we'll go ahead and start with that. I've got some great tools to show you on how to build your own lead magnet instead of going and finding lead magnets already created for you. And then you can really target the areas that you want to hit in your lead magnet. And then we'll talk about choosing a template, and we'll work together over the next 7 days to actually build a lead magnet funnel together. So any questions before I end the session today?
Yeah, Shelley, one real quick one. I seem to have zoned out when you showed us where the prepaid funnels were.
The pre-made funnels?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pre-made
yeah,
lead pages.
Yeah, they're stinker to find. So let me share my screen again. Hold on, let me share. And I'm going to go into my dashboard. And all I do is go into the builders and then Pixel Perfect Builder and then new website. So I'm going to go look at the templates. And then under the templates, I go to sales funnel and click that arrow so that shows me all of them in sales funnels. And then I go to list building funnels. There is a lead magnet funnel area, but there's only 2 in there, and those are just templates. They do not have the lead magnet included. But if you click list building funnels, it's the same exact thing. They're lead magnet funnels, but they've actually got the lead magnet included already. And there's 9 of them that are there for you. Okay, did that help?
I think so. Thank you.
Okay. It's okay. I zone out every once in a while too, so it's all good. All right. Any other questions, guys? All right. Well, we'll call day 1 in the can, and tomorrow. Oh, Avis, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
My question is, okay, I did the lead magnet.
Uh-huh.
I did it, but what I couldn't do is what I guess I was trying to find a free ebook like you were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And can I just go to the sites where you just showed me for the like the sales funnel, and it's like everything is already there for you? Or can I just go and purchase, can I do like what you did and just purchase like a PLR, you know?
Yeah, the ID PLR is one of my favorite sites. There's a few others that I use too, but ID PLR is huge. and they're constantly adding. And I think it cost me, it was either $199 or $99. I can't remember which one,
The
but
99 sounds good. Yeah.
yeah, it's $99 for lifetime access, right? So that means forever, ever, ever, you get access to all of their stuff. And it's very, very valuable because even if you don't use it, like if you don't grab a lead magnet, use it, there's there's so many resources there that you can pull an ebook in and take a look at it and see what they're thinking when they wrote it, and then write your own. Not copy, but get an idea, a starting point of how do I write a book about this? And it'll give you an idea where to start. So things like IDPLR are fabulous. I do Surefire Wealth, IDPLR, resale rights, a couple of other ones. So I'll try to put some links inside the resource and homework area so you can see maybe some of the more popular ones. Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. Anything else, guys? Okay. I think now we're officially calling it in the can. So I'll see you guys tomorrow at the same bat time, same bat channel. And I'm going to jump off and start training my certified partners. So you guys have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Shelley, for your time. Bye-bye.
Gotcha. Bye, guys. Have a great day.